My name is John Micheal Foreman, Social Security number 228-17-9683. Born in Norfolk, Virginia, born 0309 1979. Age 43, white, blue eyes, hair red in the sun. Look at the old photos, the same thing. These street photos, there's plenty of them out there. At 43, on camera at Department of Corrections, they set me up with a dirty UA. That's Everett Washington. Robbed my house. They give me a lie detector test. They got arrested in the process of it, setting me up. When you take a fingerprint, your molecules are different. A computer cannot match a situation. I don't care how smart, but they were smart enough to programmably frame a direct that computes to do a tech piece that looks good, but it has no specific work to a direct to actually do what they say it does. Chemical base evidence, they leave everything else out, but they do not put all the criminal situations or the little missing pieces that solves my innocence. This will always be, as is also explained in so many ways, by so many people, by so much law, and well known across the world and on earth, the services that I've served, and more than just that. Many years ago, knowing of an individual, individuals, sort of, went on a TV show called Jerry Springer. I've been on stage, I've been with Jerry Springer many times. He says he has some dirt that he's done, whatever that dirt. I don't know if it's particular, he's getting paid or he's just joshing. I don't know, maybe he put hurt. I don't know what the situation is. Maybe he robbed, because all those situations and then some, and all massive amount of the topics, people we've been with, is not the situation. Let me correct this. Been around, has verbally stated that he's worked with, he's listened to. Jerry Springer has performed so much to his life, and with so many people. He's been with us for a long time. He's still here. But to break some bad news to so many, sometimes things just are. Many witnesses and many things. Jerry Springer is now a judge. You believe that? I just caught on to this. We've been through all so much again to so many different things and so many things in life, on and off. The old man is now a judge. Unsurprisingly, he's able to perform that rather than kick back and relax and enjoy life. But there's some things that an army, I guess you could say, goes where I go and the way they go. That we'll be able to pick up if some are bullying. But then again, he may love to do what he does. But the conflict is so great, just like anybody else, or any newborn being raised the way they're being raised towards one. The Everett jail. I want to go to a new topic now, but it still has to do with Jerry Springer. Again, he's been with us for a long time, and now he's a judge. I'm looking on YouTube. I'm seeing like massive amount of videos. I think it's great. I think the guy deserves a vacation for Christ's sake. We again been on a long, rough road. I haven't had a break in 10 years. I never had a break in my life. I've never even had a vacation in my life. I don't even know what a vacation's like. The world's most brutalest situations of life and life man history have ever known because of me. That man got to experience movements of yet I don't think the reality is fully understood, but I know he knows all so many things. But he is an old guy. You know, there's something with nice weather and nice big old shaded area and like warm in the morning kind of weather and get up and have a cup of coffee and you know, some like to read a little bit in the morning too and have a nice view and they look next door like 4 inches over and you see nothing but a friggin' building of somebody else living there. I mean, this guy has been through warfare all his life. I don't know. But for many years, we know that. And then also many witnesses to upgrade his stats, his statuses to a well high performance that would be unlikely possible for another human. And the things that we know today, there to be somebody that can ever match the man that you're listening to before you now. People were talking about the fact when I was held wrong in the facilities. Everybody screaming in the facilities they got a uniform because they're holding me inside the facilities. Because one officer tells two officers, I don't deserve to eat. I'm not to get resources because he has a personal problem. Then tells, after telling two officers, tells another officer, thankfully, bluntly, the same thing. Everybody at the facility told a multiple mass of law enforcement, different law enforcement, they could just go F themselves. But as that law enforcement came in and made understood they are not starving them, they're to release me and to quit holding me hostage. Something about this though, every facility that such matters though, there's a few things, but just never nothing to I shouldn't be having to be held. in the manner that I've been held. Anyway, hopefully I got a show with Jerry Springer, the judge. Now he had a TV show. Some of you may not know, which I mean I find it unlikely out of so many years. Um, yeah, talk show. Mr. Jerry Springer. We all know that. Well, I mean, there may be a few of you out of the world of something I don't understand, or you're caged all your life, or quite many years of situations. But anyway, it is now a judge. I got a video I'm going to attach to this video. Um, I'm going to clarify a few things, and we'll get right to it. So, the Everett jail, after my doors were busted into my rental, the first door, the front door, my roommate gets hit with a gun. He doesn't get shot. Both brothers come in armed. Second door gets hit. He has to go to that one. He told them to stay in the front room. He was able to position these people without me getting screwballed. I'm in the kitchen area. Mind you, Les looking at the front. I want at him. My roommate standing in front of me. I didn't give a heck if they had guns, knives. I'm like, well, fucking, we're doing this shit. They're talking about they're just gonna shoot me. They had no understanding what the fuck flash was gonna happen up in that motherfucker. My status is for such matters, close range, war, and all kinds of things. Sometimes I have a moment, or it's just sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Uh, War is not the only thing. Cleaning out facilities. People heard of the assault team situations. People have, there's a lot of people who know a lot of things. Next door gets jammed on in, and well, he just says, fuck, come on in. However the fuck, he opens another door or whatever the fuck it was. Anyway, they got guns and so forth. And to cut it all short, the other one's in front. The big guy's like, dude, just go. Like, make it out of there without getting shot or shot down the street. They probably killed him. Half block from the house, rental. And the sheriff pulls up and arrests me. And I'm at fault. I get to the jail anyway, top tier, bottom tier. My whole life story of, made understood how they robbed me and set up my accounts and set up the crimes that I got and all these kinds of different things. Guard, I'm sitting on the top tier. Guard's like, well, I'm hearing what's going on. They've admitted everything he says. My entire life, how they got in there. Certainly, they got their buddies to let them in there, their deputies and so forth. It doesn't matter what's cleaned out; it's all that thick and it's all guilty. But it was enough to anyway that he instructed that hey, I'm an all-outer now for the Everett Washington jail. All goes. I still yet haven't received a shield, a special unit. Uh, John Foreman is to go on the shield. Shield number. Anyhow, he gets enough to put it through. I finally get through, get out of there. No witnesses, nobody to do no judge things, no paperwork. Don't sit on my cell and receiving paperwork and all these kinds of different things. None of it happened. There's not even witnesses, video cameras of it or anything. Goes for the Everett arrest and it goes for gold bar arrest. It uh, goes for a lot. So anyway, I get outside. That's all there is to that. Uh, I'm at Hometown Inn, South Dakota, Elk Point. Told the officer all that stuff yesterday. Everett Washington. I filed my Secret Service agent documents. John Micheal, Foreman, active. If you read, I'm non fireable. And if you read, I'm an all-outer. Says there's 2 inches thick of documents. It's not all of it. States all that. I told the officer yesterday. He got me a room at the Hometown Inn, Elk Point, South Dakota, 605-356-2667. He left his name. I left my information, John Foreman. I told him all that. Let him know. I told him about Compass Health. I filed the front doc that says active Secret Service agent John Micheal Foreman to my doctor, the Compass Health in Everett, Washington. Clerks, another staff, they filed. Anyway, back to the Department of Corrections office. They called 911. They showed, they reviewed the docs. They reviewed the 2 inches thick worth of documents of my work. They said by law they have to file. I was told that they robbed the staff. Then I was threatened. So was the police officers. They called a 2nd Division. I get outside like I was told. They said I'm trespassed. I ain't done nothing wrong. They apologized. We understand what happens further from that point. Now a little episode of Jerry Springer. Thank you.
They were just terrible roommates. They were terrible people. They would constantly cheat on one another, and when she would leave, he would just cry and beg. And
he told us we had to move out.
I had to call the police. The police kicked him out.
They smoked so much weed. It was just constant.
Where's my dryer at that you stole?
Judge is speaking now.
You're in a court.
Plaintiff Vincent Davis is suing his former roommate for $877 for unpaid rent, utilities, and cleaning fees. Defendant Stephen Cluck claims the plaintiff overcharged him on the rent and says he owes him nothing.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. The Honorable Judge Jerry Springer now presiding. Good morning, Judge.
Morning, Najee.
This is case number 073 on the docket, Davis versus Cluck.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
and
Judge.
Welcome to all of you. Let's see what we have here. We have the plaintiff, Vincent Davis. You are suing your ex-roommate, Stephen Cluck, for $877 for unpaid rent, utilities, and cleaning. And I understand, Joanna, you are part of this case, too, because you're the third roommate here, right? We have... Are you
Yes,
two
Your
room
Honor.
together? And yeah, I get it. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Vincent, what is your side of the case?
All right, Your Honor. So I'm here because, long story short, Stephen and Joanna have just been a complete mess as roommates. I mean, I could start in a number of different places, but the main point is the fact that there's unpaid rent, utilities, and cleaning services that I had to pay for once they moved out of the home.
What was the arrangement in terms of paying the rent?
We're to split rent $800, split it 3 ways evenly between 3 grown adults. So that totaled out to $532 of unpaid rent, on top of a $50 late fee that's applied on the 5th of the month, and then $5 each day that gets still not paid. The landlord was kind enough to say, you know what, don't worry about the extra $5 a day, just pay the $532 plus the $50.
The rent is $800 a month. There are 3 of you, so they pay 2/3 of it. That's $532. So you're suing them because you say they owe 1 month's rent.
1 month's
right?
rent, the utilities,
And plus other
the late
utilities and other things.
Right, yeah,
but in terms
yes,
of the
Your Honor,
rent,
yes.
it's $532. Okay, go ahead.
The utilities would get to the point where they were extremely high because they would leave the TV on. Not just one TV. These are 2 adults with 2 TVs, 2 Xboxes, and a PlayStation in their room. They would go to bed, leave all of this stuff on.
That's not true.
them, hey,
Object.
because you already complain about paying so much. Since there's 3 of us here, you know, you're paying a third, you're paying a third. You put that together, no matter how high it gets, you're going to be upset. It could go lower. if you would turn your things off.
Sometimes I'm on late at night, and so you could see how they would want to keep the TV on late at night.
No. This would be, they would leave, they would leave for work, Your Honor. They would leave for work and leave.
That's not true.
Okay. I'm just being silly. From your point of view,
Well,
what was it like living with them?
it was like living with two hermit crabs. They stayed in their room, and I had no problem with that. Stay in your room, do what you want to do. But once that door opens and you open your room to the rest of the house has to see what's inside of your room, what smells come out of your room.
I may regret asking this question, but what kind of smell comes out of that room?
What kind of smells do you want me to? I mean, there would be smoke from weed, and then from just the overall just dirtiness, the odor. Like I'm telling you, go into this room and it's like homeless people live here. There's clothes everywhere.
What?
There's literally a trail of dirt. The carpet was tan when we moved in, and you can actually see in Exhibit B here the kind of state
That's
that
from
the
work, Your Honor.
the state that the carpet was left in. We could, like, there was, imagine how dark carpet has to be, how dirty it has to be,
Yeah, you be
in order
working
for it
fast
to
food.
turn black.
Yeah.
It went from the front door to strictly their bedroom. There was just a trail. Once you open the door into the bedroom, there was the trail continued, but there was no dirt or anything where they had rugs, furniture, bed. The carpet was that dirty, and it was just roaches coming out of their clothes. I'd go in there to clean up.
What clothes? There were no clothes
I
in
would
there
go
after
into their
we
room to
left.
clean up because the people had to come over to fix their room for a toilet that they let leak so bad it rotted the wood in the floor. This toilet sunk into the ground a good inch. So when people come over to clean up this mess that they've made, there's weed everywhere. He dropped a pile of weed on the ground, and then I told him in advance, hey, people are coming, clean this stuff up. There's bugs on the walls, daytime bugs.
Okay.
Bugs come out at night. These bugs come out during the day because they're so comfortable with the place. They like it. It's where it's home. It's disgusting.
Daytime bugs.
Yeah, yeah, the bugs come out during the day. Okay. These are daytime bugs.
Daytime bugs.
Daytime bugs.
Yeah. Okay, so let me hear from Stephen and Joanna. What's the deal? You've heard what he has said, and I guess my basic question after hearing your side is, why not? Why would you not pay that last month's rent?
The original agreement was the first year that we lived with them, we paid one flat fee, and that was the agreement for the first year, was the one flat fee. Then the second year that we moved in with them, it was supposed to be 50-50, but we signed the lease.
My God.
And then
we
after
didn't
we
discuss
signed
it
the
beforehand.
lease, we didn't really discuss it because we just assumed that we were going to have the same agreement.
Yeah,
Well,
50-50
when
because
we
you have
moved
more
in,
than half the
we
house.
signed the lease, and then he made a big argument saying that we were 3 different people, and then we...
So my question is, if we're 3 separate people and we all had to pay 3 separate portions of bills, how are you suing him for 2 people's portions of the bills? He's 1 person, not 2.
All right.
First of all.
If that's the
First
question-
of all.
okay. Go
Second
ahead,
of all,
do your
where's my
thing.
dryer
Do
at
your
that you
thing.
stole?
Do your-
Where's my dryer? Yes, you switched my dryer. I went and bought a brand new washer and dryer set.
Stole yours.
Yes, we did. I put my washer upstairs because your piece of crap did work. I put my brand new washer upstairs, put my dryer down in the basement. When we moved out, it's not a set anymore. How did that happen, Mr. Vincent? And no, and your electric bill got so high because you paid it late every month. We paid it on time every single month up until the last month. What about the deposit we put on that?
As I understand it, the lawsuit is not about those items, even though I understand what you're saying, and I gave both all of you a chance to
But it is
talk
about
about
the
what
the electric bill, is it not?
You're being sued specifically for paying your share of that last month's rent. Your share of the utilities, which
Which
he
we paid,
says
which
is
we
100.
paid 2/3 of $250 whenever we moved in for a deposit. We never got any of that deposit back. That more than covers
Okay.
the last month's electric bill.
What you get back in terms of a security deposit or the deposit for the
No.
utilities, that Yeah, you paid a deposit for the utilities,
But he
right?
kept,
Is that
but
what
he
you're saying?
stayed in that. But he stayed in the house after we moved out. He told us we had to move out. He told us he was moving out. He stayed in the house with our money, our security deposit. Wow. We have our own house now, and we almost couldn't get our electric turned on because his bill was so high, and we were the backup people on the the electric bill because his bill was almost $800.
Okay.
Let me just hear from the plaintiff now that they put a deposit down when they first moved in for the utilities, $250. What about that? They didn't get that back.
Once they moved out, I continued to stay in contact with them about all of this. I let Steven know, hey, we're gonna get a deposit back. Keep in touch. I'm currently blocked on Facebook. I got this on video. I had everything written out, laid out to the T. I took it to his job because he did not want to speak with me. I had to go and find him in person. I went to his job and I let him know, hey, this is what you owe. This is what you agreed to pay. Will you pay it? And this is on video.
How are we going to get a deposit
and he
back
said,
from electric?
He said, yes, I will pay it. I said, sign this paper saying you'll do so. He said, I won't sign anything without Joanna being here.
Let's see the video now.
I'm not signing it.
Well, you're not going to get this dude's number, and we're about to have a bigger problem than just...
I want his phone number.
You won't get his phone number. I will straight give you his... Okay, we'll sign this. Okay, we'll sign this.
I will talk to him.
So you're not going to sign this?
No, not right now. I will talk to him.
So you're not going to sign that?
But you're refusing to give me his phone number.
No, I'm agreeing to give you his phone number. Just sign the paper, bro.
So the paper you wanted to sign to say that he's going to
Where's
pay
the
it,
rest
you're
of the video
referring
where
to
you
the
went
rent.
behind the counter and tried to
I understand. I'm
beat
not
him up?
suggesting that was a good thing to do, but I just wanted, it was referring to them paying the rent, right?
It was referring to them paying the $877. It was written out. It was spelled out. It was there.
Okay. Has the security deposit been returned to anybody?
No.
Has anyone used, okay. So the security deposit,
He
Your
used to stay
right
in
to
the
get-
home for another year.
If you would have kept in contact with me, you would know that I was in perfect contact with the utility company, and they went and they let me know, hey, Mr. Davis, this money is coming back to you, but we need confirmation from
I don't know
Joanna
how that's possible
and
because we
Steven.
just got our
I'm not
electric turned
talking
on
with
in
the-
May. That's
Okay,
why.
well, you quiet. I'm not talking about the deposit for the utilities. I'm talking about
talking about the rent.
security deposit when you moved in. That security deposit, has anybody received the security deposit back? No. So the payment of the security deposit to anybody is between you and the landlord. That's not a suit between you two. Now, if the security deposit did go back to one of you...
You saw in the video, he was not willing to give us a landlord's phone number, ever.
Why do you not have your landlord's phone number?
Okay, well, hold on.
He called him. He never gave us his phone number.
Why don't you have his phone number? It's your landlord, too.
Your
Your name is on the lease.
You're the one that dealt with him from the beginning. Is his phone number anywhere in this paperwork?
Your name is
no,
on the
it's
lease.
not. You're the one that went and looked at the house. You're the one that went and
Who
got
do you...
the rental renewal agreement for us to sign. You're the
so
one
you
that
don't
got
know
all
who
this.
to... Wait a second.
Ma'am,
You
stop
don't know who
speaking.
to contact in order to pay your rent?
All I know was his name. I didn't know his phone number or any contact information for him.
And you're
No,
saying
we do
you
not.
don't have the ability... You don't have the ability to find out how to contact the landlord.
Not in
Now,
a big
that's
city.
just-
You wanna know how-
You can't
What do
find
you mean,
out
if
Your Honor?
somebody's personal phone number.
Your
In
Honor,
Kansas
the way
City,
that I got the phone number, he had, since our landlord lives in Nevada, he has
I
a
didn't
maintenance
even know he
person
lived in
that
Nevada.
goes
hold
around
on, hold on.
and
Give them the phone. This is silly that we're arguing over a phone number. Give them the phone number, and then I'll deal with them having to pay the rent. But you got to give them the phone number so that they can deal with the landlord about the security deposit. They are entitled to whatever is going to come back. Now, my guess is, looking at pictures of this place, there's not going to be a lot of money coming back with the security deposit. But that's between you and the landlord. I won't get into that.
But,
You're
but
on
Your
the
Honor,
lease.
how can
so
he sue us for something he hasn't paid?
what?
According to the landlord, he still has never paid that month. He never paid. What he's suing us for, he
How
never
do
paid
you-
the money.
you don't
how
know
do you
your
know?
name?
How do you know if you haven't talked to
Because
the
we had to
landlord?
talk to him whenever we moved into our new house in
Okay,
order for us to get our electric turned
Joanna,
on because
Joanna?
your bill was so high.
The judge is speaking, man.
You're in a court. Okay. On the rent, your name is on the lease. You have to pay the rent on the lease. You signed the lease. I know you're not happy with your roommate. That happens, but that's not a legal issue. You signed that lease, you're responsible for 2/3 of it.
Also, the bugs were already there whenever we moved in, because if we had the bugs and the bugs came from us, wouldn't we have had them in the house that we lived with him for a year before that?
I'm not
The
saying
bugs
you're
were
wrong on
there
the
when we
bugs.
moved in.
I'm
Our
not-
property manager told us.
I know. I'm not ruling on the bugs. Right now, I am just ruling on the rent, and I think you have to pay the $532, the both of you combined. You can figure out how you're going to do it. But he's entitled, since he has to pay the whole rent, he's entitled for the 1 month
But he
that
never
you
paid.
had signed the lease to do it. So I fined for the plaintiff in the sum of $532.
They were constantly boxing with one another. Too many times they got to break up a fight where she was actually winning.
There's more to that video than what he showed. He came behind the counter, almost got me fired, and I had to call the police. The police came, kicked him out.
They had total disrespect for my daughter. They'd have her smelling like weed because they smoke so much. Like, we breathe oxygen, we drink water, they smoke weed. And then they smoked weed, and then they smoked some more weed. And it was just constant, and there was nothing I could do about it. I just had to sit there and live with it until the lease was over. But once the lease is over, they had to put the nail in the coffin and skip out on some money. So that's when it becomes, okay, now I need that back.
It's not our fault that the toilet leaked like it did. The property manager knew about it when we moved in there. All this stuff was already there when we moved in, and he just chose not to do anything about it or give us the phone number so that we could do anything about it.
And all relationships go through trials and tribulations. I mean, every couple does. I mean, we're not different than any other couple. We fight, we argue. I mean, it happens.
But we love each other. At the end of the day, we still love each other.
Very much.
So I'm glad that this whole thing's finally been drawn to a close. I wish we could have gotten on to more, but we couldn't. I'm happy with what I got, and hopefully they learn from this experience and do something better with their life.
Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. For more Judge Jerry, click here. For more Jerry Springer, click here.